Good morning, and thank you for joining us for Reels 101, tips for creating short form videos to stand out on social media. So today's webinar, really excited about looking at Reels and how it can help your social media. Again, any webinar is so much better with people asking great questions. So I'd really encourage you to ask questions throughout. If we mention any software or links after throughout the webinar, we'll just send you an email after the fact. And if you find that this webinar is excellent, you'd like to share it with a colleague in the industry, if you want to come back and watch it, it'll be available for you within 24 hours online, as well as any previous ones. So we'd really encourage you to check that out. We hope that you are joining us through Digiport, as in you found the webinar series. Digiport is a one-stop shop partnership between Tourism Nova Scotia and Digital Nova Scotia, and it really focuses on helping the tourism industry bridge the digital capacity gap that we have. So it offers, educational opportunities, it offers programming, there's tip sheets, webinars. It's a lot of really great content offered nowhere else in Canada. And if you aren't on Digiport yet, I would really encourage you to do so. You can sign up at nsdigiport.ca. So I'm really excited today to talk to you about our presenter, Kayla Short. So Kayla Short comes to us from Short Presents. She's an award-winning Canadian blogger, full-time content creator, TV personality. She's contributed to the Huffington Post, Fashion Magazine, Flair Magazine, and Profile Halifax. You may have seen her as a seasoned guest expert for CTV, Global, and CBC. Has traveled the entire province and all across Canada, sharing her extensive knowledge of social media and online marketing, and chosen as one of Huffington Post's top 50 Canadians, and has received numerous awards from the Coast Reader's Choice Awards for Best Blogger. Welcome, Kayla.
We're ready to go?
We're all set. Yep.
Okay, so welcome to Reels 101 and tips for creating short form video. Next slide. You're going to hear that a lot today. So welcome, my name is Kayla Short, and I like to say that I am a trained teacher turned internet grandma. I've been blogging since 2010. So internet dinosaur, internet grandma, that's me. Next slide. You can find me at Short Presents, where I share lifestyle content with a focus on food, fashion, beauty, and travel. Okay, so today's takeaways, like I was saying, I kind of organized this into 3 sections just to kind of so that you know where we're taking things. So the first one, we're going to go through the basics on how to create Reels in Instagram. The second section will be common mistakes to avoid. Like I said, I'm an internet grandma, so I made all the mistakes for you, so you don't have to. You can expedite the process. And then last but not least, we'll talk about best practices for success in 2023, because the game has kind of changed already, which is wild. So next slide. Okay, let's talk about Reels. What is the point? Obviously, when we're running businesses, we're already doing a bunch of things and it feels like there's always something new and something that we need to work on, but why Reels? Okay, next slide. Okay, why should we be posting Reels? It might be kind of crazy to think about, but we've actually had Reels now since August 2020. I know, it's been a minute. It's definitely time to stop putting it off if you haven't started it already, obviously recognizing that the folks who are attending this webinar are in different places, but if you haven't started yet, it's definitely time to stop putting it off. Instagram has publicly confirmed they are prioritizing video. So this is coming straight from Instagram. And then obviously TikTok is predominantly a video app. So that goes without saying. And if you think about even your feed, if you're scrolling on your Instagram, do you even see photos anymore that aren't sponsored ads? Probably not. And if so, it's very unlikely. And then I wanted to point out that, again, when we're trying to start something new or focusing on different things, it's really easy to think of it as like, oh, it's one more thing we have to do, or there's so much pressure. But I would invite you to think about it as an opportunity. And Reels are such a great opportunity for storytelling and connecting with your audience. You can really put a lot of content in a short span of time, which is awesome when we're running businesses. Ultimately, if you want to reach a wider digital audience, the best way to do so on social media right now is through Reels. Instagram's confirming it. Our consumer behavior is confirming it. And so this is the way. Next slide. Okay, so like I said, it's your best bet as showing up. It's your best bet for, sorry. Getting tongue-tied. It's your best bet for showing up in the Explore page, which means that it's people who don't follow you are going to be seeing you. So if Instagram is prioritizing this content and you're looking for new eyeballs on your content, then this is the best way to do that. Videos are also grouped together by audio. So kind of similar to how we used to use hashtags. I wrote RIP hashtags, and Instagram has also confirmed that they are moving away from this type of searching and moving towards more SEO. And the way that they're doing that is through text, through your captions, through the font overlays on your video. So they're still encouraging some use of hashtags, but we're definitely moving away from it. And because the videos are grouped together by audio, that's also another way for people to find you. Reels are fun. I love Reels. I love video. I think it's just so fun. There are so many ways to share your personality, and it's not all dancing and finger pointing to fonts. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if that's not what you're about, you definitely do not need to do that. I would encourage that if that feels off brand for you, then definitely don't go that route. And when done well, Reels are a great opportunity to bond with your audience and create a lasting impression. Next slide. Okay, so this quote is for the folks that haven't started yet. Again, appreciating that everyone is in a different place. But if you haven't started yet, the best time to start was yesterday. Again, I mentioned that Reels have been around since August 2020. And so the next best time is now. So just trying to light a little fire under you. Okay, next slide. Okay, so before we get started into the basics of how to create Reels in Instagram, I want you to do a little bit of brainstorming. And when the playback of this video comes out, there's also a little handout or worksheet that you can work on some of this stuff too, which is awesome. So I really want you to reconnect with your why and your mission statement. So again, you can kind of feel like loss and a bit of pressure to create Reels. And if all of the Reels that you're seeing, you don't feel like they resonate with you or don't feel like they represent your business, it can be sort of daunting to figure out how can I use this for my business when you feel like it doesn't relate to you. So if you've attended any of my sessions previously, or probably even on my Instagram, I'm always on about mission statements. I think that regardless of whatever account you're running, maybe you're running multiple accounts for multiple different businesses, each account should have a mission statement. And you want to think about what you're putting out into the social media universe, and what conversations that you want to be a part of and why. And I know that we're all trying to make a dollar and pay our bills, but it can't all be about sales, because people will see through it and they will definitely unfollow you, or they'll just leave comments as that happens. Do your research. So find content that resonates with you, inspires you. And this is not to be copying somebody or doing the same thing as everyone else, because that's boring. But when you are scrolling Instagram and you see something that you like, maybe save it, create a folder that you can come back to, and then look through those videos and see if you find any themes or things that are like stuff that's coming up over and over again, because that's telling you what you like and probably what you should be working on for your business in a similar capacity. Likewise, save some audio, gather about 5 to 10 so that when you're ready to publish and ready to make your reels, that you have a lot of inspiration and stuff that you can go to. We will talk about how to do all of the things with audio in the next few sections. And these are just some little tips, but plan, schedule your shoot time so you're accountable. I don't know about you, but whenever there's something that I'm not super familiar with, I can sort of weasel my way out of it and not want to do it. So I find if I schedule a time, that makes me accountable. I also suggest batching content. So, if you have your stuff all set up, or you've, got some of your employees available to shoot some stuff for you, bring a couple different shirts so that it looks like different content, shoot in some different locations. Or if you have one location specifically, tidy, create your backdrop, figure out the best lighting. Usually that's in front of a window, and those kinds of things. So set yourself up for success as much as possible ahead of time by figuring out what your mission statement is, do your research, grab some audio, plan what you want to do, and then the world is your oyster. Okay, next slide. That was a long one. Okay, so we are going to chat about the basics of how to create an Instagram reel, specifically in Instagram. And the reason why I wanted to talk about it within Instagram is because obviously Instagram wants you on their app as much as possible. And so the more that you're in there, the happier they are. They have said and expressed that they prefer when you're using their tools. Obviously, that makes sense. So when you can, use as much as the within app features that you can. So obviously everyone is at a different place. So if you know all about how to make reels in Instagram, just bear with us so that we can educate the folks that don't necessarily know. So we won't spend too much time on this, but I definitely want to make sure that we touch on it. So there's a couple different ways to create an Instagram reel. I chose the one that seems the most simplistic to explain. And if you've never created a reel before, maybe you want to take a photo of this slide or make some notes so that when you go to do it, you understand what all the buttons are. And, it can get overwhelming. As you can see, there's a bunch of icons here on the side of the video. And if you don't know what they are, it's definitely overwhelming. So what we're going to do is we're going to open Instagram, go to our profile, select the plus sign in the top right-hand corner, and then select reel, select camera to create a reel, or you can upload a video that you've created elsewhere. And we'll talk more about that too. So next slide. So in the previous slide, and then on this third rectangle in, the one of me and my headphones on the green screen, you can see that there are all these little icons on the side. The top one is the music, and I've screenshot what that looks like with this first little rectangle here. So this is your music selections. This might look different depending on what type of account you have. If you have a business account within Instagram, they only serve you copyright music, or copyright-free music, sorry. So you might not get those trendy sounds. You may decide that you want to do a creator profile so that you do have access to that music and you can sort of capitalize on that trendy stuff. But we can definitely talk about that too later in our Q&A. So this is what it looks like when you're selecting your music. You can click on the little circle with the little triangle that will play it for you. If you click on it, you select it. You can also, at the very top, it says saved. Those are the ones that you've saved from other videos, so you can fetch stuff from there. If you have any questions about music, definitely feel free to fire them into the chat and we can talk all about it. It's one of my favorite parts about Reels. Really is a great way to show personality and really emphasizes the themes of whatever is coming up in your video. So this second rectangle here with my face and the little icons at the bottom, that is the effects that are available to you. I don't really mess around with those too much, but maybe you're more crafty than I am, so I figured I would mention it. The third one of my face with my headphones is a green screen. So if you've ever seen a video that has like a tiny little head and they're talking and there's like, pictures or videos playing behind them and they're pointing and explaining things, that's what that looks like. And so that is your third little icon there on the side. And then last but not least, this is probably the one that I use the most, and it is the timer. I love this because, well, first of all, you can set it for a countdown of 3 to 10 seconds. So 3 seconds I usually find is enough if I'm like pretty close to my camera. 10 seconds is really great if I'm stepping back. And one of the great things about the timer is that it also allows you to be hands-free. So once that timer goes off, it counts you down 3, 2, 1, then it's hands-free and you can film as you want to. Really great for lip syncs and voiceovers and stuff like that. That's probably how I use it the most. But if you are recording by yourself, it's also great because then it's like set it and forget it. Okay, next slide. And again, feel free to fire any questions. Everyone is at different levels, so I fully respect if things are overwhelming or if you have a more advanced question, we can tackle that as well. So templates, this is by far one of the coolest things. I wish that I had this when I first started out because it is literally a plug and play video creation. I'm obsessed. So if you are on Instagram and you see a reel that you like, take notice of whether it says template at the bottom of their video, because you can literally make your own version of it to the same music with the same clips. So this rectangle here, the black one that says template, add 17 clips. At the bottom, you'll see all these numbers. And so those numbers are the timing of the frames that it's suggesting, and it's timed to the music. It's the coolest thing. Obsessed. So you'll see the first one says 2.3. So for this music clip, it's suggesting that your first frame should be a little bit longer, kind of getting that attention. And then after that, it's suggesting 0.5 so that you're getting those hits of a bunch of different stuff. So we'll definitely get into more about filming video, but this obviously just reinforces that you need a lot of clips. So don't be afraid to overshoot whenever you're creating any kind of content. Let's just see if I tackled all the things that I wrote down here. Add your video clips from your camera roll. This will create the reel for you. Again, synced to the music. Couldn't be easier. Oh, okay, yes. Do not, if there's one thing that you take from this session today, do not rely on Instagram to store your videos. Always, always, always save your drafts. So if you go through all the trouble of creating this video and you've got all your clips in there and you're like, okay, I won't post this until next week, save that to your camera roll, because who knows what could happen between the time you've created it and then the time that you've decided to post it. Instagram has a mind of its own, and just don't trust it. Okay, so that's all good for that slide. We can switch over. Okay, text overlay. I am very passionate about creating content that is inclusive. And I think it's so important that we're adding text overlay to make sure that everyone who comes on your content knows what's happening, regardless if they have their sound on or off. So text overlay, the way that you add that is so say you've uploaded your video into Instagram, and at the top, there's these little icons. You'll see I have a little green arrow pointing to the AA. So you're clicking on that. You're going to type what you want to say, select the font style. So you'll see in the second screenshot here, it says, I have y'all. I'm starting to type it, and those little the little AAs are the different types of font. I tend to choose the ones with a color or a block in the background because that's just easier to consume and easier to read. You can also change the color of your font to make it aesthetically match that video, or if you want it to match your branding colors, you can add a photo into your reel and then toggle the little dropper. So you'll see that the little dropper is on my green shirt. You can do that so that your videos are always on your branding colors, which is really cool. If you have more questions about that, I can definitely explain what I mean. And then my last screenshot here shows the text, and then you'll see that there's this yellow bar on the side. So that's Instagram just telling you that you're out of the suggested parameters. So it's kind of faint, but if you'll see, there's like a heart and then like the question bubble that's sort of grayed. That's what will show up once you hit publish. And so you definitely don't want your fonts to be overlapping. In addition to the fonts being important for inclusivity, it's also really important for SEO. So Instagram will target people based on your content by what it reads it's about. So the way that you tell Instagram what your video is about is with this text. So, it's important for inclusivity, but it's also important for SEO and for the algorithm as well. Also, it's fun because, again, more personality. Okay, next slide. Obviously, that's super basic, and some folks might know all the things about fonts, but I definitely think it's important to reiterate. Adding music. So again, you'll see the first frame here with the little green arrow pointing to the music note. So we've already uploaded our video into Instagram, and now we want to add music. I usually tend to leave this to the end so that I can save all of the things, and then it won't save it with audio just due to copyright. So I tend to wait till the end for that, unless I'm doing a voiceover and then I start from the beginning. Hopefully that doesn't confuse you. So you're going to add your music by clicking the music note. Again, this is your list of like suggested songs. So you can pick a song, and then this third screenshot shows where in the song it's selected. So you can toggle that back and forth to wherever you want the music to play. And then the last frame here shows how the video edits and layers. This is actually a pretty recent update. So if you've not updated your Instagram recently, yours might look different. I'm not super obsessed with the way that they layered the fonts right now. I really hope that they create a splice function because I find it so annoying. But for now, that's what it looks like. So this last screenshot, what you're looking at is the videos or the video clips that I've selected. And then the second layer under there is the audio. And the third layer is the font selection. And so you kind of like toggle it in for where you want to place in the video. The bar that goes through it is where it's playing in the video. So this format is actually very similar to most of the like computer programs for video ed. So it's definitely moving towards that. But I still think they have some kinks to iron out. I think that's all I need to say about, oh wait, one last thing, sorry. The second screenshot where it says controls at the top, that's where you can edit your audio settings. So say you do a voiceover or you're speaking in your video and you want to add a background music, but you want it to be low. You can go into controls and just like toggle the volume settings and you can change them however you want. Just make sure that before, if you're creating a draft and say you take some space before you post it, just go back in and make sure that those controls are where you want them, because Instagram has a mind of its own sometimes, and you post the video and all of a sudden your background music is louder than your speaking audio, and that's not how you left it. So just check that one before you hit publish. Okay, we're good on that one. Uploaded videos. So you definitely don't need to be making videos in Instagram. If you have something else that you're more familiar with, then it is what it is. Do what works for you and what you'll actually do. So some apps that you might explore are CapCut, InShot, and again, you can take a photo of this or maybe take notes. So CapCut is great. It's free. It also has templates similar to Instagram. And what's really cool is that they usually pick trending audio. So again, doing all of that hard work for you. They are telling you what's popular and then also helping you sync it to the music. You just save it, upload it into Instagram. I would add the fonts once you upload it into Instagram so it looks authentic and all the things. InShot is good. Splice, Spark are all great editing apps for your phone. If you're looking for options for your computer, iMovie, if you have a Mac, Final Cut Pro, it's definitely advanced and it's expensive. It is my personal preference, but it's what I've been using for a long time. Adobe Premiere Pro is really cool. I have friends who use this. And one of the things that is worth mentioning is that if you're editing on your computer and say, we're on the go, we're doing things, you're editing on your computer and then all of a sudden you need to use your phone. They are in tandem together, which is like the coolest thing ever. So you don't need to save the video or, airdrop it to yourself. It's literally in the app the same way that it is on your computer. Very, very cool. But it is a paid program or whatever, but definitely worth exploring if, you're really getting into the high end editing, if you're taking stuff from a computer, like something like that. Last but not least, I definitely want to mention that BuzzFeed and YouTube should quickly become your best friends. I literally taught myself how to use iMovie. I taught myself how to use Final Cut Pro. The first day that I tried Final Cut Pro, I did have a meltdown. I will admit that. It was not user friendly at all. And I lost everything that I worked on. It was a whole thing. But if you see something that you want to create, or if you're editing something and you're like, how do I do this? Most likely someone has a video about it. Or if you're like, what kind of app is good for this? BuzzFeed is so great. It's such a great resource, and I feel like it's not talked about enough. And definitely don't feel overwhelmed. We're all doing the same thing. I've been doing this since 2010, and I'm constantly looking up things on YouTube, because if you don't do things for a little while, or if you have an idea and you've never done it before, you can literally teach yourself. It's pretty cool. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this is our second section. We have one more to go after this one, and then we can open up to questions. So, common mistakes to avoid. So the first one I decided to mention is avoid trying too hard to go viral. This will become so transparent, and you'll lose your way pretty fast, and you'll also lose your audience, because they'll be like, what, this person doesn't care about me, this business doesn't care about me, why would I want to support them? They're just in it for clout or whatever. So really focus on your mission statement, on the conversations you want to be having, on your community, and it's much more successful for your business than going viral. Going viral doesn't mean you're going to sell out your Airbnb, or your restaurant's going to have a lineup around the block. It's not a guarantee. And in fact, it could go the other way. So stick to your niche. Typically, I suggest having a main topic, and then having 3 to 5 subtopics. And then when you're planning stuff, it's very easy for you to plan what you want to do, because you know exactly which boxes you want to tick. Adapt trends to your niche. It's not just about copying. You definitely need to get creative and adapt it to what makes sense for your business. So yes, we love trending sounds, and we love trending clips. Ariel, Little Mermaid one is so funny on TikTok right now, where people are swimming. If you can figure out how to make that make sense for your business, then do it. If you're just doing it because everyone else is, the ship is not going to sail. Save your videos twice. So if you are editing in Instagram, save your videos as is, just the clips, because then you can repurpose that content elsewhere. I like to save it with the fonts and without, because sometimes Instagram decides to delete some of my fonts, and then I have to start all over again, and it's literally a nightmare. So if you have both on your camera roll, you're good to go. Again, one with no font, one without. The no font is so that you can repurpose that video on TikTok or somewhere else, because they don't want the fonts that look like Instagram. They'll literally tank your content, which we'll get to. That's my last point here. Always add text and captions. We did talk about this. I think the stats are 90-something% of people aren't listening with sound. And then just make sure you mind your placement and your timing. Yes, it's great to add font and text, but if it's flying all over the place and I can't read it, then there's no point to having it. So my best advice is to create your fonts and then watch your video, read it out loud, and pretty deliberately, so that you know that the timing is okay and effective. Assuming what works on one platform will work on another. The apps are just very different. Instagram and TikTok are very different spaces. Yes, you can take some content from Instagram and put it on TikTok, and it works, but you can't be doing that all of the time, because if people follow you in both places, they're going to be bored out of their tree. I am not always as good with practicing this. I definitely get overwhelmed between trying to toggle between both platforms. So I would suggest that focus on the one that you know is working for you and what you can commit to and be consistent. And if you have time, then publish it elsewhere. That being said, absolutely no watermarks on your videos if you're repurposing them. So if you create a video in Instagram and you save it from your profile, it will have like a little Instagram logo on it. TikTok is smart enough that if you upload that video into TikTok, it will literally drown that video because it doesn't want to promote its competitor app. And likewise with Instagram, same thing. So you might notice that even when people share TikTok videos in their stories, they might like scratch out the TikTok logo. And you might be like, why the heck are they doing that? This is why. These apps are definitely going head to head these days. So no watermarks. Okay, next slide. That was a lot of information. Okay, so do batch your content. We did talk about this before. Record your videos, save as drafts. I also think like always overshoot and keep folders on your phone and keep stuff around, whether you're putting it on a hard drive or otherwise. I posted a reel today that was like bucket list items for the Halifax waterfront. And some of those videos were from like last October. Some of them were from the summer before last summer. But because I saved it, I could put it all together. And it's great. It's a time saver. Keep your hands slow and steady while filming. So we've all consumed the content where it just feels like we're getting whiplash. And so when you're filming your videos, 2 hands is always good. And the closer your hands are to your body, the more steady your video will be. So just be mindful. We all get busy and we're all trying to get the shots and do all the things, but try to keep your hands slow and steady. This will just make it look like such better video quality. There is also like an action mode on the iPhone that you can drop into. So say you're passenger in a car and you're filming while you're in the car and you're going over all kinds of bumps, it does smooth out the video in an amazing way. So if you have that option on your iPhone, it does downgrade the quality to 1080, but that's what most of social media is anyway. So that's a good tip. Use lots of clips to keep the video momentum. So this is just reiterating what I was saying. Just overshoot. Shoot way more than you think that you need to. Shoot from different directions, angles, all the things. So then when you go back to edit, you have all the options. You're not having to go back and redo it again. Check in on your stats. Definitely don't just like post things and like hope it works out. Definitely look at your statistics and see. Those are like right in Instagram. If you have a business setting or a business profile or creator profile, you can check these things. And if you notice that your video is like dropping off at a certain point, ask yourself why that's happening. Is the video too long? Did I not deliver what I said I was going to deliver? You can really learn a lot by looking at these stats. Do a call to action. This is something that it's one of those like aha moments, when you're like, oh, I really want my audience to do this thing. And you're just like hoping that they do it. Why not ask them? Just tell them. If you're creating a video and you're asking a question, that's a really great way to kind of like get a conversation going. If you want them to purchase something or book something, end the video with, for more information on how to book, go here. Like literally spoon feed them what you want. And I see this as such a missed opportunity. It might not be something that you want to do on every single video, but it's definitely something that you want to think about every once in a while. Because we forget, we're watching these videos and we might like it, but we might not think like, oh, like or follow, because we're in that like scroll mode. It's like a whole thing. Definitely don't just like post once a month and expect that you're going to have this like massive audience of people following you. Consistency and posting often is definitely your best bet. A, for the community, and then B, for the algorithm as well. Engage and support with your community. We can't do anything alone. And the best thing that you can do is engage with other accounts that are similar to yours, take up similar spaces as yours. A, so that you're probably doing what was in your mission statement, but also this tells the algorithm what kind of content you're posting, what kind of content you like. So it's twofold. A, you're engaging with your community, supporting them, as you should. And then B, it's good for the algorithm as well. Okay, we're ready for the next slide. Last section, we're powering through. So best practices for 2023, as I mentioned previously, things have changed, and as they should. We have more functions, we have more options, and it's a different space now. Okay, so next slide. Perfect. Okay, so trending audio. So if I had done this presentation August 2020, I would say find the trending audio, get on it as fast as possible. It's the be all end all, magic bullet, yada, yada, yada. I do not feel that way today. Yes, trending audio is good. Yes, it can make sense, but it's not perfect. So the way that you can tell if audio is trending, you'll see my little screenshot here, and there's a little circle, and at the bottom where you normally see where the song is, if there's an arrow pointing upward, it means it's trending. It means a lot of folks are using that audio. But where it gets tricky is that depending on where it is in its peak, you might get lost in a million other people trying to do the exact same thing. So unless your video is like a super fresh take or super interesting or super unique, you might just fall in the middle of everything else. So if you can get on it early, that's great. There is an app called Trend Talk that you can subscribe to. It will tell you that what songs are trending and where they are in the peak. If you want to get granular with it, if that's how your brain works, have at it. But just be careful, because if you get in the middle, you're probably going to get lost. So you kind of want to be either at the beginning or the end of that curve, so that when people look at that audio, they see yours. Because if the more views, the higher the views is where it's, that's what's going to be pushed forward, or the most recent, if that makes sense. Unless you catch it quickly, right. So yes, the audio is great, but it always should be about telling your story, and you need to make it your own. So it's not just about being a copycat, because that's boring. So you need to make sure that it makes sense for you. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this is where the planning gets really important, and being intentional is really important. So there's a lot of content online. It is hella saturated. And the best way to stand out or to create amazing content that really resonates with people is to provide value. We can't just be posting just to post. We can't just tick a box. We can't just phone it in, because people will keep scrolling. There's another video waiting for me on the other end of whatever this is. So in order for your content to provide value, your content needs to be one or all, or a combo of the following. Oh my, sorry about that. AirPod fell out. Can everyone still hear me? I'm going to assume we're okay.
We are good still, yeah.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, so we want to make sure that we tick one or all of these boxes. So we want the content to be educational. What that could look like is, teach us something about your business, educate us on how things work in your business. Maybe you're an Airbnb. Take us through the check-in process. Take us through whatever it is you're offering. Maybe you have like bikes at your Airbnb. Show us how we unlock them, or whatever we need to do. So go from the educational standpoint. Are we teaching them something? Are they learning something? Inspirational, share your experience, be vulnerable, uplift your audience, share some behind the scenes of your business, how or why you started your business. I think a lot of times when we are posting content online, or if we've been doing these things for a long time, it's really easy to assume that everyone has been a part of the journey for the whole time. And like, maybe you have new followers who have no idea anything about, like, you have to think that everyone is stumbling on your content for the first time, and making sure that everyone is still up to speed. So yes, inspirational. And then last but not least, entertaining. Obviously, nobody wants to watch commercials all day long. This is how we have the internet in the first place, right? So it needs to be entertaining, share a funny experience. It could also look like ASMR content. That's pretty popular. Cooking videos, if you're a restaurant or you have some kind of food services, show us, how you're making things. We love to watch the process. Likewise, even your daily chores. If you run a cottage and you're making the bed and you're vacuuming and all the things, like, there's a whole category of humans who find that very satisfying, like taking something that's untidy to tidy. It's like chef's kiss entertaining. Not for everybody, but you will find your audience if this is your thing. I didn't include this here, but I also think it's really important to make sure that your content is relatable. And if you can create some kind of content where people are like, oh, me too, I feel that way, or same, you're going to get so much engagement, but it's also such a great way to connect with your audience as well. So I would update this slide to add relatable as well. Okay, next slide. Okay, so we put all this work into these videos and we want people to watch them, right? Why would we do it otherwise? So if we want people to watch our video, and this is what helps the algorithm, and we put in all this effort, we want to make sure people get to the end. It's very important. I want you to think about your videos like a resume. You have all of 5 seconds to capture your audience's attention. Like, it needs to be quick. I need to know, what the heck is this video about? Why am I wasting my time watching it? Tell me what you're going to show me in this video. So that needs to happen so quick. Also, the algorithm loves humans. So if you can feature some of your first clips with people in them, that will also perform better because it's relatable. Like, if you can see, you can envision yourself in it, then you're going to feel more connected to it, right? It just makes sense. Some other things you can think about is pose and answer a question. So have you ever blah, 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 and then your video explains what it is and how it relates in the way that it relates to your business. Opt for a roundup, 5 reasons to stay at our accommodations. This screenshot here is a video I did actually in partnership with Visit Nova Scotia. We visited Ingonish. And obviously, we were there for a few days, so we ate in a bunch of different places. And so I created a reel that was food stops to visit in Ingonish because, A, this is one of the things that I get asked about the most, especially with Ingonish being a seasonal place. It can be hard to know what's open. So not only is this reel entertaining, it's also educational. And it saves me the headache of having to answer these questions in my DMs. And this is how you can really use Reels to your advantage. So I get DMs all the time. What would you recommend for this? What would you recommend for that? And so this is just an easy way to be like, hey, I actually have a Reel about this. Here you go. And if you have any other questions, circle back with me. So it serves such a function, but it's also entertaining because it features all kinds of yummy local food. And then in terms of timing for your videos, we want it to be quick. Our attention spans are trash these days. So when in doubt, keep it short. So 30 seconds or less, ideally. Okay, next slide. Okay, so I wanted to share some examples of some content that I thought that was really great and falls under those pillars of entertaining, inspirational, educational. And I would definitely invite you to pop over to Benjamin Bridges' Instagram because I love this reel. My partner actually sent me this reel when it went live. And he was like, oh my gosh, this is so funny. And I sent it to a bunch of my friends. And so basically what happens in the video, Benjamin Bridge offers skating in the winter. But it's not like the Oval. It's not like it's available all the time. And so it definitely is. Hey, Benjamin Bridge. I love that you're watching this, but I'm totally fangirling over this video. So in the video, they are educating about whether the rink is open. So it's weather dependent. So again, not like the Oval where it's just like open all the time. And on this particular day, it was really mild. And I love this because the folks from Benjamin Bridge are like literally out in their rink, which is actually a swimming pool when it's mild, in a unicorn floaty with a bathing suit and a toque. And it's just so funny, but it's also educational because it's telling people, okay, our rink isn't always available. You need to be checking the times that it's open ahead of time, so be prepared. But what a way to tell people. They're not going to forget this, right? You're going to be like, oh yeah, is the girl out in her floaty today, or can we go skating? So yeah, I really thought that it hit the boxes of entertaining instead of just being like womp womp or rink is closed, and sad face, whatever. This is like really going for it and educational, entertaining, all the things. And I sent it to so many people and I know they got lots of comments on this. So like, this is an example of it being done right. Is this like, hey, Benjamin Bridge, here's a bottle of wine, very advertising? No. Is it effective? 1000%. This makes me want to support the business even more. It's like, oh, they have an amazing sense of humor. This is amazing. Okay, next slide. I have one more example. Okay, so this is an example of an inspirational post. And so, like I said before, sometimes when we're sharing stuff online, we think like, oh, everyone has been following us for forever. They know everything about us. And this was a really great example from La Have Cabin, another great Airbnb rental. And the reason why this is so effective is because of what she writes in the beginning of her video. So the beginning of the video, there's a text overlay and it said, all of this used to be a dream. It gives you goosebumps, right? Because what you see is clips of them building this cottage from the studs. I also know that they like moved from Quebec and brought their whole family and like lived out of a camper to create this dream. And I don't think that there's anything more inspirational to creative folks than sharing when something used to be an idea and then realizing that idea. Because so many of us have ideas and we never actualize them. And in this short little clip, we're seeing that transpire and like literally gives me goosebumps. I love it so much. And obviously her audience did too. There's like really great comments on this post. And the thing is, and the thing that I want you to remember, and if we're looking at it from like an analytical standpoint, it's that text in the beginning, because that sets you up with the feeling that is carried through. Had she just posted it from the studs to finish, sure, that's really cool. But it doesn't create that connection, and you're not telling people exactly what you want them to feel. Very direct and very, very efficient. Yeah, love this one. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this is just a little pep talk from me to you. I love a good pep talk. So basically, you can do this. The best part is you have all of the things already. You have an amazing business. You have your individual story. Instagram Reels and short form video is just the vehicle to help you share that with others and connect with others and educate your audience and potential customers. I also think this is the best time to be creating content, because people want raw, real, no pun intended, unpolished content. We're kind of tired of everything looking so manicured and perfect and boring, quite frankly, because there's just so much stuff online right now. So we're really into things that feel off the cuff. And so I think there's no better time to be testing the waters and doing all the things. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is my last slide, and it's just to reiterate some of our takeaways from today. Obviously, we've been on a journey through this whole thing. So the things that I want you to really remember are: be inclusive, always use font overlays and captions. Most people aren't listening with sound. Very important takeaway. I see a lot of really big creators miss the mark on this. And I know personally, sometimes I'm watching a video and there's other people around and I don't want to disturb them. And I would have watched the video had there been captions. But like, if you're just rambling on and I don't know what you're saying, disengage. So you've lost me and probably a handful of other people as well. Save your videos. So save them if you're creating them in Instagram. Save them without the fonts and with. It won't save with the audio. Just remember that. Be original. Tell your story. It's not just about copying everything that you see online. You definitely want to make it your own. And when you're planning your content, thinking about the kinds of content you should be posting, we want to make sure we educate, inspire, or entertain, or somehow combine those things together. And last but not least, progress over perfection. There's no better time to be starting than right now. And I think sometimes done is better than perfect. We can spend our whole lives with all the things in the drafts and never hitting publish. And I think we should just go for it and try it out. So that's all from me for slides for today. I would love to open it up to questions and kind of see where everybody is at.
Oh, thanks, Kayla. That was really excellent. So we do have some questions, and of course, anyone that's on the webinar, please ask any questions that might come up. So I see about 6 here, so I'm just going to start going.
Awesome. Yeah, and if there's any that like build out or something, then feel free to jump in. I love questions because it's the best way to ensure that everyone here gets what they wanted out of the session.
Yes.
Everyone's at different places. So, if there's something that we didn't talk about, but you would like to talk about, just um, fire it in the chat.
Perfect. Yeah, and put it in the actually put it in the Q&A.
Oh,
Easier
sorry,
to
Q&A.
That's
Sorry.
fine.
Yes.
Because I'm in the chat now, but then I'm gonna switch over. So
Okay.
Mary said you're doing amazing, so congrats. Is there an easier way to find trending audio without scrolling and saving?
Yeah, so I would say the CapCut would be really good because it sort of tells you what's trending, and then the app Trend Talk would be another one. But I think like your consumer behavior is also really indicative. If you are on Instagram and you see, if you see like 5 videos with the same audio, you can probably assume, and you like the audio and you feel like you want to use it, I'd say go for it. And yeah, if you feel like it's resonating with you or it's fun, I would go that route too.
Okay. How to go to template from the Reels page?
Oh, let me just. It's one of those things that if you don't see it, you're like, what? So I
Yeah.
know that if you're consuming, oh, my phone is playing. If you're on Instagram and you see a video that you like and it says use template at the bottom, you can literally just click on it and go in from there. But otherwise, I think it's just in the Reel settings. Let me just confirm that before I spread fake news. Oh, okay, yes. So if you go into where you start your reel, so say you go on your profile, click the plus sign, click reel, then at the bottom it says reel or templates. You can just toggle to templates. Does that make sense? And then you just click on one that you like. If there's audio or if you like the momentum, then you can just plug and play from there. But that's a really great question. I'm glad that we did that together.
Let's see. Is it better to edit your videos directly on Instagram or to do it on a separate program and then import to Instagram? And if you've already answered the questions, I apologize, but I'm just going to ask them as I see them.
Oh no, that's okay. And if one person's asking, there's probably someone else who's thinking it too. So, I would say do what feels comfortable to you. If you feel like you like how Instagram does it, then go that route because that will be better for your content and the algorithm and all of those things. If you already know how to use another program, or say for instance you're loving CapCut and how it's organized and you feel like that's approachable to you, then go that route. If you're whatever is helping you get the content out, I would say do that.
Perfect. How do you work on increasing your followers organically?
By creating really good content.
Yeah.
There's no other way. Create really good content, be consistent, engage with your audience. There's nothing worse than feeling like you're in a void, like if you're always commenting on someone's content or you're always sending DMs and you never hear anything back, it really tells that person a lot about how, that person feels that's posting it. Or like if you're posting content and you're asking a question and then people are in your comments answering it and you're not engaging with them, then you're telling them that you don't care. You just wanted the views. So I would say the best way to do it organically is post really good content, obviously Reels, because that's going to help you show up in the Explore page. Another option that you could think about is collaborating with other folks. So you're getting both of their audiences together. Obviously, I'm an influencer, so I'm going to plug working with influencers because that always helps because you're getting their audience as well. The collaborator tool is really cool because then when they post that content and add you, then you also get the option to share that content on your feed as well. So it's kind of like free content, but everyone knows where it came from. You share the stats, all the things. So yeah, that's another great option.
Benjamin Bridge said they're here, so that's how awesome. What about the description? Do you recommend it as short or long and use lots of hashtags? ?
Yeah, okay, that's a really great question. And I'm so glad that you asked it because things are changing very quickly with Instagram in that regard. So, Instagram is obviously competing with TikTok, and TikTok is trying to be a very SEO driven. And so they want people, and it is much better. The search function in TikTok is very efficient. Instagram definitely has a ways to go. But the Instagram has said that they want very detailed captions. So your copy that goes with your video or your photos, and, maybe 5 hashtags. But you could also throw in a couple keywords at the bottom. So I obviously am coming from a blogger background where everything is SEO driven. And so I'm always thinking about my caption and the things that I'm saying written in a way that includes keywords that I know people will be searching for. So yeah, definitely don't do the block of hashtags. And I would include those 5 hashtags in the copy. I know that there was like a time where we were putting it in the comments. Put it in your caption because that again helps with the SEO algorithm, all that stuff. Great question.
Perfect. If you were just starting the process, what would you recommend as a first project to get started without too much detail to create the reel?
I would say introduce me to your business. Pretend I'm a new customer. I don't know anything about you. Tell me what you're about. So think of it as like a working resume kind of thing, introduction. It could even just be you as the person who is behind it being like, hey, I'm so and so, and these are the things I do, and this is my bit. Like it could be as simple as that.
Okay.
Or like a highlight of the journey of your business. Assume that we know nothing and give us all the details that you want us to know. Yeah, it's a lot, but you can do it.
Perfect. So, and you may have answered this because now I'm over to the Q&A. So I'm just going to go through this and where do I find music? I know you addressed it, but maybe just kind of highlight it again.
Yep. So obviously, when you're consuming content, you can see what music is being used. I would definitely use what you like. Also, too, even if you're in Instagram, it will suggest music to you. So if you click on that little music note and the first 10 songs will be suggested to you. It could be stuff that you liked or similar stuff that you've used before. So it's also kind of helping you that way.
Perfect. Is there any way to find the latest reel trends?
I think in the Trend Talk app, there will be stuff like that, or even like BuzzFeed. You can check that. You could search TikTok. That will serve you some stuff. But yeah, again, like don't get too hung up on the trends because you definitely want to make it your own as well. Tell your own story. Do your own thing so that it makes sense to you. If you're looking at it from like an inspiration standpoint, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't get too hung up on it because if you're doing every single reel is a trend, it's going to feel inauthentic to your audience. I would stagger it, because then it just looks like you're copying everybody else.
Okay. We got a few more. So
Okay, perfect.
Bikramjeet Singh says, I have Instagram platform under the name Only Nova Scotia. I have 65,000 followers. I'm helping
Amazing.
I'm helping immigrants, but need tips to add more local people from Halifax. And then the next question, so that he had another follow-up, so it could go together.
Yeah,
So how can I collaborate
sure.
with local organizations to increase the reach? I have followers mostly from Nova Scotia. Okay. So he
I
wants to
would
add
say,
more local people from Halifax.
right. I would say first, it's like search Halifax, whatever businesses you're looking for, like literally go into Instagram and see if you can find them, follow them, like their content, create that community, and then just reach out to them. Most people have their email in their bio. I know I do, even though everyone always DMs me. What is your contact information? And I'm like, let me Google that for you. But yeah, if you look at people's profiles, their contact information is usually in their profile, which is amazing. Gone are the days where you have to like guess what someone's email is. Yeah, so I would do that. Just email and be like, hey, this is what I'm about. This is what I was hoping to do. Just kind of give them an idea and let the other person be in the driver's seat and be like, hey, how do you see this transpiring, or what would work for you? Because everyone has their own stuff, right? So I find asking questions is a really great way to keep it open-ended and not tick anybody off by being like, hey, I want you to give me the sun, moon, and stars for free because I want to grow my business, you know?
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we're careful with those relationships. So I find asking questions is a really great way. But, you know, follow the people that you want to work with, comment on their stuff, like it, and show that you're supporting them too, and they'll want to reciprocate naturally.
Perfect. Last question I can see. How would you connect with an influencer to come visit your destination? For example, Fisherman's Cove.
I would either slide into the DMs or shoot them an email. I prefer email. But yeah, just send an email and be like, hey, would love to work with you. Let me know how it works. And similar to the last question, just leave it open-ended and be like, hey, we love your content or whatever. And if you want to give examples of things that you like, you can totally do that too. But yeah, just shoot them an email or a DM and you can work it out.
And I suppose with this type of industry, you'll have kind of many different interactions with potential influencers. So like someone could have a more of a package, like, yeah, here's how I operate, or some people may
totally
do it more organically. Yeah. And yeah, so just be prepared to explore that. I guess I would assume much like, you know, dealing with any business, everyone's gonna have a different approach, but especially with this one, I mean, if you catch somebody that's just getting started, they may not necessarily have everything established yet, or they don't know how they do it. And then there's someone like yourself that's probably much more established. So, but yeah, I mean, that makes the most sense, especially to an influencer where it's kind of appropriate to send them a message and to start that process that way. There's no extra questions, and I do really appreciate the really strong content and our rocky start we had. So it's great that we got through it.
We made it work.
Yes, it was so great. So thank you, Kayla. I really appreciate your time. I'm just going to take back over the screen here and wrap it up from our end. So thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, so I'm just going to share our screen here. So I hope you liked the webinar today, and it did have a lot of really great information. So this is part of our spring tune-up series. So we have a weekly webinars for over 6 weeks. So our next one's going to be next Thursday, and it's when, where, and what to post on social media. So that's presented by Ingrid Dion from WordCraft. We've had Ingrid on many times, and she's excellent. So I'm excited for that. We also have email marketing best practices to boost your business, presented by Maria Soko from Playground Creative. I've had Maria on before and has a lot of excellent information. And then we have on Thursday, June 29th, which was rescheduled from last week. It's how to use Google Ads to promote your business. So that's from Liam Tyler from SME Solutions. Liam has excellent information, and he'll be able to build on some of his previous teachings as well. So Liam's was going to build directly off of the Google webinar. So if you're going to tune into Liam's, make sure you come back and review the Google one as well. If you want to look at those webinars, they're available at tourismns.ca/webinar-series as well. If you're in Digiport, which you should all be signed up for, and if you don't, please go do it now. I would encourage you to send us to sign up. If you're I see a few chats coming through, so we'll just monitor those and we'll answer that after the fact. So can anybody on the TNS staff available just respond to those chats and Q&As, and then we'll try to get those questions answered. So today is the last day for the Tourism Digital Assistance Program. So it was extended from last Thursday to this Thursday. So you have until 4 o'clock today to apply for the grant. You can receive up to $5,000 in qualified services. There are limited spaces, so please put the time and effort into a quality application. Services can include a website design, development, search engine optimization, digital marketing strategy, social media strategy, online booking systems, audio, podcast services, photography, videography, and e-commerce. So kind of any of those challenges that you may be having digitally, I would really encourage you to check into this grant. The links there, you can just Google TDAP as well, and then you'll find it on our website or Digital Nova Scotia's website or through Digiport. The Export Travel Trade Program is open until September 30th or until all spaces are filled. This will be an opportunity for you to get one-on-one coaching through the Export Travel Trade Program, which will help you develop partnerships with tour operators, travel agents, and this will enable you to attract more national and international customers if that's the direction your business is going in. Stay connected with us. So you can email us at tnsbusiness@novascotia.ca. Our corporate website is tourismns.ca. Our consumer website, our call to action when we send all of our visitors is novascotia.com. Our news and resources, tourismns.ca/news-resources is where you would hear about webinars, any relevant programming, industry news. So if you haven't signed up for the news and resources, please go do so. It will help you remain up to date and have as much relevant info as you need. You can find us on our corporate Twitter. We are at Tourism NS, and our corporate LinkedIn is Tourism Nova Scotia. Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful day.